guys at Evolution Auto have given me this AVATR 1.1 for an entire week, which means I can take you to do some chores that I do around Colombo, and we'll be going a little bit further afield, testing the range of this pretty impressive car. But we'll come to that a little bit later. First, let's start the day. Now I'm going to take you through all the features of the AVATR 1.1, the design, the tech, and of course that crucial range component. But before any of that, I am living with the car, right? So first off, we're going to go for my morning coffee. Have a look at the AVATR 1.1 and really soak in the details, especially the design. Now this is being pitched as very much the upper tier of EVs. With the Chinese revolution in electric cars, things have changed dramatically. You don't have your traditional legacy players right at the top necessarily anymore. So AVATR is really trying to pitch themselves as that top tier, and as such they've got some of the best talent from Europe to design this 1.1, including the chief designer of the BMW i8. And when you look at it right now, I'm not always a fan necessarily of these sports car SUV mishmashes, but I have to say that 1.1 is one of the better looking cars out there. That whole rear section kind of reminds me of the boat tail Rolls Royces in the past, and it just does look very cohesive. It doesn't look as if it's been designed by computers. It doesn't look like it's been designed to look anonymous. And one thing I have to say, when driving around Colombo, this thing turns heads. Everyone who has any inkling of what cars are looking, and they're turning their heads. And I love the subtle badging and branding on the car as well. It makes people think, it makes people wonder, what is this car? And it looks premium, exactly what you'd want for a car of this caliber. Okay, this is one of my favorite features, automatic opening doors. It feels like I'm in Knight Rider. And to close it, you just press the brake and everything is set up exactly how you like it. So of course everything is very tech heavy in here. You have this central screen which controls everything, and I mean everything. Now, I'm not too much of a fan of the fact that you have to control your AC ventilation through the screen, but I do love the fact that you have a 360-degree camera and you can change your viewing angles, you can adjust everything. And this whole system is not too intrusive when it comes to giving you warnings or bongs or beeps. Something I appreciate as well about the AVATR 1.1, it is really easy to drive around town. Although it is a medium to large sized SUV, it's effortless. It's pretty effortless to get around town. Now, for example, I've got this in comfort mode right now. You have various different modes. You have eco, you have comfort, and you have performance. I've got it in comfort right now. You also have a customizable option as well, so you can set just how you want your steering, your accelerator, and everything to feel like once you're behind the wheel. I suppose one of the big advantages of an EV is that it doesn't have any moving parts per se. So stuff like this, belts and spark plugs and all those things, you don't really need to worry about. Now, one of the interesting things about the AVATR 1.1 is the boot is actually like that of a sedan car. It's not a hatchback, it's fully enclosed from the passenger cabin. That of course means that you can put a lot of stuff in the boot and it won't interfere with your everyday activities. But if you have a larger item like this, you can still fold the rear seats and easily put it through, and you can still close the boat electrically. One of the other features of the AVATR 1.1 is the advanced safety parameters, and you can see on that screen in front of you, it's basically monitoring the road at all times. It's showing where cars, where bikes, where three-wheelers are in real time, and it's using its own computer to ascertain whether there are threats, whether it needs to warn you about anything. and it does a really good job even around town, which is crowded full of cars, bikes, trucks, everything. It doesn't interfere with your daily driving experience. It just gives you that extra level of confidence that you might need heading around town, and if something does get a bit too close to you, it'll tell you. Another really nice feature of a tech-laden car like this is it does have genuine features that make your life easier. For example, the auto park feature. So I'm coming up to some parking spots now. I press the parking button and I have to drive past the parking spaces, and you can see it's identifying various parking spots, and then I can select start parking.
Parking started.
And my foot is off the accelerator, it's off the brake and off the steering wheel, and it will automatically park the car. So it's in drive, it's automatically selected reverse. I don't have to do any input. There are other systems which you have to press the accelerator and the brake to make sure that it goes in, and it only controls the steering, but this does everything by itself. And there you go. If you are a bad parallel parker, and if I'm honest, I'm not the best at parallel parking. I'm great at parking normally, but parallel parking is not a strong suit of mine. But if you're not that good, or you just want to take your mind off things,
automatic parking completed,
then there you go.
Cooperated well.
Super easy.
You next time.
Now, one feature that I'm a huge fan of in the AVATR 1.1 is the fact that it has ventilated seats, not just for the driver, but for all 4 passengers. And this makes a huge difference when you're driving around in, what is it, 39-degree heat. It's saying that it's the exterior temperature right now. It just makes that extra difference. You just arrive at your destination feeling just that little bit more refreshed. And if that wasn't enough, the front 2 seats have the option of massage as well, and you have various different patterns as well to keep you entertained on those long drives. So that was a glimpse into a day in the life of an automotive journalist and fanatic like myself in an EV, a very luxurious EV at that. But what a lot of people ask me, and to be honest, I ask myself sometimes, is, Sam, could you live with an EV if it was your only vehicle? And that means if you want to go a bit further afield than just doing errands around Colombo. So with that in mind, join me tomorrow where we take this car to the hill country. I'll be in New tomorrow, and I'm going to top up right now to 100% battery charge, and we'll see how much battery we have left once we reach the hill country. So we spoke a little bit about the design back in Colombo, but now that I've had some time to myself with the AVATR 1.1, let's go into some of the details. And I'm not just going to read off a brochure, I'm going to let you know what I think and what I've found over the last few days. First off, lighting is superb. You have these DRLs as well as indicators, which actually really signal to the world that you're coming through. The lighting as well is superb. As I said earlier, the headlights are really powerful, and you have auto high beam function as well, auto lights as well. And there's a little bit of a welcome ceremony as well, which we'll show you as well. So once you start the car, it has a little bit of a light show that comes up on there. Ground clearance, it is actually quite decent if you look at it here, and you have all your sensors as well as your cameras as well. Nicely hidden in the design. Now, a lot of cars will have, like, for example, you'll have a huge camera maybe plastered here in the front, but here it's very neatly integrated into the whole shape, and the fact that this part is black as well, it's quite nice. The color is not my favorite. This matte effect finish is a little bit harder to maintain than that of a glossier one, but it's that option there. This isn't a wrap at all. This is factory paint. A lot of people have asked me, has this been wrapped? But no, this is an option as well. And if you like that matte effect, it does lend itself a little bit more premium vibe, I guess, when you think of it that way. Down here we have these two-tone wheels, multi-spoke design. These are actually 22 inches in size, which is quite large. It does lend itself to the design. It will probably be a little bit more comfortable on the 21s offered on the lower range model, but these 22s are necessary because if you look behind the spokes here, you'll see that yellow brake caliper with the Brembo lettering on it. And these huge brakes really do make a difference on this car. It's not just a EV, it's more of a performance EV, and that goes to show that they've been thinking more than just going fast in the straight line. They've been paying attention to stopping power as well. Another thing that you'll notice is that these tires are Pirelli Premium Contact 6 tires. So these are premium tires, premium rubber, and driving it up to Norelia, I couldn't get the car to break traction. I couldn't get the car to even squeal. And when you consider that this car is really heavy, being an EV, that is a huge advantage in itself. Then we come to the tail lights as well. Again, these lights do a nice little light show, which you can have. You have several options inside of what kind of light show you want once you lock and unlock the car. I'm not a massive fan of this very small opening of the rear glass here, because it's a little bit difficult to see backwards if you were to turn your head. But they have thought about this, and they have included a very high definition camera system here, which is integrated into the rear mirror as well. So if you are just driving and you look behind you, you have a very crystal clear view of everything behind you as well. And of course you have that 360-degree camera system as well. So even though if visually you might not be able to see everything on the screen, everything is there. What else? Oh, here's another point that I really love. It's this entire strip here is your reverse lights. So A, it's not placed too high up so that it blinds someone if they're sat behind you, but B, this whole section lights up and lights up a decent amount of space behind you, so that when you're reversing, the cameras are much clearer, and you can even see in your rearview mirrors a lot more than what you would with conventional lights. It's really helpful when reversing this quite large SUV. Now, a big part of a test like this is its suitability for long runs out of town. So bringing it here to Norelia was a real test of this EV's range. Now, once we left Colombo, we left on a full battery of 100%, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't really babying the car. I wasn't really trying to drive too slowly to try and conserve range. So what actually happened is I drove pretty swiftly up the mountain. Now, of course, for this video we had to stop a few times and take some shots here and there, but the fact of the matter is we did 178 kilometers by the time I reached Norelia town, and we had 53% battery remaining. Now, that is less than the 680 kilometers theoretical maximum NEDC range that was predicted on a full battery, but that is theoretical range, so that's usually considered in perfect conditions. So for me, I was driving up at a pretty swift pace, not really worrying too much about the battery, not really worrying too much about range, driving as I normally would, a little bit faster than a lot of other people would, I'm sure, and I still had 50% battery left. So I could theoretically go back down to Colombo, and with that regenerative braking, it will use less energy going downhill. So I think that's still pretty impressive, right? You can get from Colombo to Norelia with 50% battery remaining, tested with me, and there are plenty of charge stations around Norelia. We went looking around last night as well. We found about 3 or 4 30 to 60 kilowatt chargers as well. So range is not an issue for me with this car at all, especially when you want to go on those longer out-of-town trips. Okay, another big concern about EVs is chargers and charge points, right? Well, we're here in Norelia, and by my count, there are about 6 or 7 compatible DC fast chargers available that I can use for this AVATR. Now, there are quite a few charge points which are located near cafes, so you could opt to buy a coffee or something, but not every point has something like that. But that's not a problem with the AVATR 1.1. If I get into the shotgun, you'll see that you have a number of options that can keep you entertained while you're in here. So first off, you have your own dedicated screen here if you're in the passenger seat. This can play music or movies or whatever, and this can be operated completely independently of the main screen. So that's not only great if you want to just chill out in the passenger seat, but also if you want to entertain kids while you're driving or something like that, it comes in really handy. Then you've got Meridian's 25 speaker sound system in here, and honestly it sounds sublime. No joke, when I first got the car and I wanted to play around with some of the features, I kept it parked in my garage and I just sat for about 2 hours just listening to music on this sound system. I even showed it to an audiophile friend of mine and he was really impressed, and he basically said there's no reason to upgrade a sound system like this at all. You have a gorgeous leather stitched dashboard, both the upper and lower segments, they're all covered in this really high quality leather. You have a wireless charger for your phone down here, and it has a vent as well, which means it can be kept cool during even the hottest of days. Then let's talk about this infotainment system. We're talking about how this AVATR 1.1 entertains you while you're charging. So like I said, you do have that impressive audio system. If you're not in the mood for listening to music, you have several scenarios as well. So you can activate a fireplace mode, and you can keep the temperature at whatever position you want, and you can sort of hear the crackling of the fireplace pumped in through the sound system as well. Then you also have a pet mode, which is brilliant for if you have pets, if you're an animal lover and you want to keep them in the car. You can maintain an interior temperature which will be comfortable for them so that they don't boil and break, and you have this message on the screen which showcases the fact that the pets are safe inside here. No one's going to try and break the glass to rescue them. Then we have the rest mode, which gives you various different relaxing scenarios. So you have rainy day, you have waves, you have stars as well. And then when you activate it, it triggers another feature which is pretty unique to the AVATR 1.1, and that is the fact that it has those zero gravity seats. Now, this was a feature when I first heard about it. I thought it might have been a little bit of a gimmick, but then I realized you do inevitably spend a lot of time recharging your car if you don't have a wall box at home, and if you're stuck somewhere for an hour or an hour and a half and you don't really want to buy something or rest somewhere, then this makes a lot of sense. You can just relax, and the zero gravity seats actually are super comfortable. Now remember, these seats are also ventilated and they feature various massage patterns as well. So let's talk about that turning radius and reversing the car. Pretty simple. You have a 360-degree view of your car here. You have the guidelines as well, which adjust in real time to how you turn your steering wheel. You have cameras for the front wheel and the rear wheel as well, so you can see exactly where your car is going to be. So if we try and make a bit of a tight turn here, it's not too much of a problem. Now, some of the models back in China do get a rear wheel steer system. This doesn't have it, and it doesn't have the tank turn stuff as well either, because you get in some of the all-wheel drive ones. But I mean, for normal Sri Lankan roads and just around here in some of these Nurilya villages, it's more than enough. Like me, have been a petrol head all your life.
Yep.
And this is quite a different proposition, right?
Extremely.
I'm a bit afraid to ask you this, but what are your thoughts?
At first glance, I love the styling.
Okay.
The thing looks
So
really
positive.
cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Compared to most Chinese cars, especially if you take into consideration what we've seen
Oh yeah,
over the years.
they've
you know.
come so far,
Strides.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was saying earlier that this was designed by a whole European team, and they have a design house in Munich,
Okay.
and it really does show, right?
That's sure. Definitely.
Hmm.
Definitely. And I like the fact that they haven't copied anything.
Yeah.
Because usually, if you take most Chinese cars, they're amalgamation of like other brands that we usually see on the roads.
Yeah.
So this is totally new, which is really nice.
It's nice. It's refreshing. It's
Yeah.
very refreshing.
So, does it have a frunk?
It does. Actually, it does.
Okay, cool.
So I think we did talk about the trunk space earlier, but there's extra luggage capacity in the front as well, which is another like pretty handy thing, right?
Oh, definitely. And you were saying that this comes as a range extender as well, but we don't have it in
There's a
China.
range extender option back in China, and I think in China you get a few other options like with air suspension and four-wheel steering and stuff
Okay.
like that. But as an EV, I really like it.
Definitely. So is this 4-wheel drive?
This isn't four-wheel drive; it's rear-wheel drive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it handles really well. Driving up to Norillia, it was pretty good. I gave you a bit of a taste of it as well. But yeah,
Didn't feel like an SUV.
didn't feel like an SUV. How about we go for a drive?
Sure.
Yeah,
why not?
cool.
Let's do it.
Let's go for it. Okay, so you are now a passenger in the AVATR 1.1. How are your thoughts from the exterior now back into the interior?
Very fancy, but maybe a little too fancy.
What do you mean by fancy? What
Okay.
is your definition of
So
fancy?
like, everyone thinks when you get into a Chinese car, it's cheap plastics, things break. This, it's totally different. You got Alcantara, you got leather, you got all this fancy switch gear. It's
Electric everything.
Electric everything,
You have this massive sky roof as well. Okay, another thing that I don't think I remember to point out was the fact that this sky roof, although it's all glass, it actually doesn't get warm. It's a nice place to be, and I was just joking with you, like once I have to give this back, I'm gonna have to get used to closing my
Closing your
own doors,
door.
right? And that's proper like sci-fi Knight Rider tech from the 80s, right?
Even
But
when you picked me up and the door opened, I was like, oh, Kit is here.
exactly. And also it's a nice place to be, right? It's not too loud.
Not
you
too
have
loud.
different options of like
exactly.
engine noises and sci-fi
Synthetic,
noises.
yeah.
I prefer the synthetic noises to the engine noises,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot of road noise. There's not a lot
Definitely
of tire
not.
noise.
Yep.
And it's just really comfortable. And I really like the fact that it has the massaging and ventilated seats. I think those are a game changer in this country.
And I actually like the rear seats as well. They look very inviting.
No, yeah, they do. And I mean, you have all that ambient lighting as well. If you have a look, even the rear headrests have ambient lighting as well.
lighting.
Like a lot of ambient lighting by other manufacturers. It just seems to be a little bit in the front or a little bit here and there.
And-
But like they've taken the whole car.
Whole car, and also it's not too much.
I mean, it's true. I mean, I genuinely enjoyed myself with this AVATR 1.1. And, as much as I will always love my petrol cars, I can see a future where an electric car makes sense for me as well.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense if you have it as a second car. Your daily driver is this, and weekends you can have your petrol powered car. Makes more sense to have it that way.
Well, thanks for coming along with me, Charith.
Thank you for having me.
See you, I'll drop you back and see you in a bit.
Yep.
So there we have it. A proper experience living with the AVATR 1.1 for several days and being able to take it not just around Colombo, but into the hills of Norillia as well. And it has been quite eye-opening. I think a lot of people think of EVs as still these sort of experimental tech products, but I have to say, after spending so much time with this car, it feels super mature. It feels like a genuine contender to anything from Europe. And if I were to look for an EV in this range, I think I'd definitely be recommending the AVATR 1.1.